What happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Hello, hello, welcome. My name is Jessica Pierce, and I will be your MC today. I'm the CEO and founder of Career Connectors, and I'm so glad you joined us for the kickoff event in January of 2026. So, welcome. Thank you all for jumping over into the chat and putting in where you are, where you're calling from. Of course, your name is already there, and what industry you want to work in. So we appreciate that. We love the ongoing conversations and communications. I would also encourage you all to put your LinkedIn URL in the chat. And we do that so we can connect with each other. I'll drop instructions in just a few moments on how to put your LinkedIn URL in there so that everyone can click on it and then connect with you directly. And I am happy to have you all connect with me as well. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to go through some tech things for you, a little bit about career connectors before we get started with our fantastic keynotes today. I'm so excited. You guys are at a great event. Career Connectors was started almost 16 years ago. That blows my mind to think about, but almost 16 years ago. And we have been on a mission to lift up our communities. And we're doing that through helping people get great careers. We provide the resources, content, connections, and empower both our job seekers, anyone who's in career transition, or people that are looking to be move to a new career. We work with employers, and then also there's lots of service providers in our communities that also do a similar type of work and can help. And so we're here to help connect all of those communities together. And so let's see if you want to go to the next slide, Wendy. And so we are here to help you with that. I want to go through some of the tech stuff. And so take a look at your screen right now. And I want to make sure that you all have a view on that will be most helpful for today. So what we usually recommend is go side by side speaker view. And the view option, if you're on a laptop or computer, is on the top right hand of your screen. You'll see an option that says view. And if you have view side by side speaker view, that will be the best for today because we're going to be doing some things where we're going to close the presentation for a moment, highlight a speaker, put it back up, and I just want to make sure you are getting the best experience possible. So side by side speaker view is the best view for you. And then the chat, all of you, many of you are already there. So go ahead and jump over to the chat if you have not yet. And tell us again where you're calling from. What I would love to have you guys drop in right now is drop in a 1 if you are actively in career transition. So maybe you're laid off, or maybe you took a break and you're going back in and you're like, hey, I am ready. Actively in career transition, a 1. If you are currently working and just trying to figure out, maybe, do I want something new, a new career? Can you put a 2? That's called more passive job searching. And so put a 2 if you are in more of a passive search. And then if you are a volunteer, a speaker, a career coach, somebody here to support job seekers, can you put a 3? Maybe you're a community partner, somebody that's here to support people today. So great. So it looks like we have a lot of people actively in career transition, some people that are passive, and then we also have a lot of support resources here for you guys. So that's what that looks like today. All right. So the other thing, if you do have questions, the chat is the place to go. This is where we will be keeping an eye on the chat. We have speakers and we have moderators on the back end that are watching the chat. A lot of our coaches have already connected early, as you can see, and they'll be answering questions as they're dropped. So if you have a question for a speaker, drop it in the chat because I can either at the end ask those questions, or our speakers often will go back into the chat when they're done talking and catch up and answer the questions. So please use the chat as much as you can today. Also, we have breakout rooms at the end of the content. And so on the next slide, we'll show you the agenda. In just a moment, we'll show you the agenda, but stay for the breakout sessions because those are going to be one-on-one and small group conversations with a ton of resources, including our speakers. If you do need transcription, that information is on the bottom of your screen. So hit show captions and you'll be able to see that. So here is our agenda today. We have job coach Justin Jones here using AI in your job search. He's going to show you how to actually make it pretty simple and help you a lot in that space. So if you've never used AI, you are in the right place. If you're an expert in AI, you are in the right place. So he has resources for everybody, and it's specific to job searching. And I'm excited for today. I think he has some fun things to show us that I haven't even seen yet. So, and then you get to hear from Jenny Zook on Wear Your Confidence, the power of personal style in professional spaces. And let me tell you guys, it is hard to find somebody to speak on professional dress because a lot of people say they know what to do, but I know Jenny personally. I saw her speak on stage recently, last year, I think, and I know I've been watching her for quite a long time on social media, and she knows what she's talking about. And so I was like, okay, she's the one. It's time to bring somebody in to talk on this again. And so she's going to be here about style and what you wear and what you can think about as you're interviewing and networking. And then we will close it out with some resources. And then we'll jump into our breakout rooms at 10:30. This is all Mountain Standard Time. I know people are calling in from all over the place. And then we'll be wrapping up by 11:30. All right, so we got some great people are responding in the chat. Please continue using that. And I just want to say, again, it's been 16 years since we launched this organization. And I just want to tell you that coming into a new year, there's a lot of, excitement, encouragement, hope, new year, new you. We hear all the time. And so I'm not saying new year, new you. I think that's overused slogan. But what I am saying is there is hope today. The economy is not as much of a disaster as people think sometimes. I've done quite a few media outlets recently actually sharing the numbers, the unemployment numbers, the industries that are growing, the jobs that are out there. And it seems so bleak often when you are sitting behind a computer and watching maybe news or social media and you're like, I'm never going to get a job. And it is not. It is not as bleak as sometimes we feel. And it's worse when we're sitting alone and not engaging with the world in a positive way. And so I encourage you today to buckle up. You've got some great information in front of you. The job market is it's pretty good, actually. If you go look at the numbers, depending on what industries you're looking in, the unemployment has not spiked. It is similar to where it's been for the last 5 years since COVID. After, it spiked in COVID, but since COVID, we run around about the same. And it's all about the right connections. You just need one. And so what I'd like to do is introduce you to Justin Jones. And Justin is a distinguished career coach known for his unparalleled ability to help individuals recognize and communicate their inherent value. Affectionately referred to as Job Coach Justin, he thrives on the success of his clients, cherishing the moment they say, I got the job. And with over 20 years of experience, Justin has coached thousands of individuals, providing invaluable insights into effective interviewing techniques in the pursuit of meaningful careers. His dynamic approach and empathetic nature have made him a sought-after public speaker and facilitator. He is currently the director of career services at BYU, and he leads a dedicated team of career coaches, guiding students through the complexities of the modern job market. and his expertise extends beyond the classroom. Justin has shared his knowledge and passion for career development through numerous interviews with radio, TV, and newspaper, and has also made notable appearances in platforms such as the Lisa Show podcast. And he has such a dedication to clients and his profession and has solidified himself as a trusted advisor in career development. He has been part of the Career Connectors group for over 15 years. And he has helped so many of our people that are going through career transition. So can you please help me give a warm welcome to job coach Justin Jones?
Hey, so excited to be here. This is pretty remarkable. Jessica, I was thinking it was 10 years. You just said 16 years we've been doing this. Oh my goodness. I know I look older and you look better. So this is awesome. And shout out to Aiden. I haven't seen you for 16 years. So excited to have you on the call. We've got people from Massachusetts, Minneapolis, Minnesota, all the way to California. We are covering the country today. And boy, wait till you see what we are covering. Just to get things started off, I'm going to put something in the chat here in a minute. But before I do that, I want you to put in the chat again, one, two, or three. One being I use it all day, every day. Three meaning I'm totally new to AI. I'm not even sure what we're talking about. Just between a one and a three, give me a pulse here so I can see who my audience is, what we're kind of looking at. You can be liberal. If you play with this stuff, great. If you are saying, I don't even think I want to know anything about AI, it's fine. We are going to cover things that are going to be relevant to all of you today. I'm seeing a lot of twos out there, which in my mind is, hey, I dabble in this stuff and I have some interest. So the next thing I want you to put is, what are you using it for? Are you using it for job search? Are you using it to make fun pictures? I used it just yesterday to create a birthday image. If you're creating images, Gemini is your place right now using Nano Banana. It is incredible what you can do with images, including those of my own team where I make them in funny birthday costumes. They are really amused with what I'm doing, but I'm amused with what you're using it for. Job research, personal assistant, absolutely. Susan, I'm seeing that research and basically anything. A lot of people using it for personal. And Carol, welcome. Carol says, I do not use it at all. Well, after today, maybe that will change. So, with that, I am literally going to load a whole bunch of resources into the chat right now, because what I know based on the rooms, the Zooms that I've been in, sometimes you like to hear what's going on, but you like to be on a different screen playing with these tools. So I'm going to give you right now the tools that are going to make you successful. So let me hit send on this. Those should show up in the chat. There's a bunch of links that you can take a look at. I've put them in order of what I think is most important. The very first one we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I'm going to let you guys go ahead and explore. You can just start. If you get lost in this and are having a good time just exploring some of these resources, great. I put some resources. I put some of the AI leaders that I follow in career search and in AI in general. I also put links to a number of the resources that are going to come out at the end of the talk today. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. AI, you've probably read already, simulation of human intelligence. It's machines learning to do and perform things that we as humans typically do. So why is that important? Well, as some of you have seen in recent news articles, many employers are looking at how are we going to use this to make our businesses more efficient. When we talk about a bottom line in business, we're always looking for efficiencies. And as humans, based on what you just told me in the chat, you're looking for ways to make life more efficient. So with the introduction to the general populace of AI, large language models, a lot of that has happened within the past 2 years. For some of you, you've been on it since it came out and was readily available. And for others, you're just picking that up. So I want to just give you an idea about some different types of AI. So when we're talking about AI, we've got narrow AI, and we're still on that same slide, but narrow AI is basically designed for a particular task, very task specific. You've got general AI, human kind of like intelligent. That's starting to outperform humans at nearly every cognitive human task. So all those redundant, mundane things, we're trying to get AI to learn that. And then you've got your super intelligence, and that's where you're surpassing human intelligence across all fields. Now, are we there yet? No. And some of us fear that. It reminds me a little bit of Skynet from the Terminator movies. I do not want AI taking over the world. However, some things that I want you to take away from this. Some global companies plan workforce reductions by 2030 due to AI. And this comes from the World Economic Forum survey that was the Future of Jobs report for 2025. You can actually, I will put that link right in the chat. I have it here. So I will send you my resources on these. Also, with that, there are AI skills are increasingly in demand. You may start seeing that with 70% of companies planning to hire AI specialists between now and 2030. So, if you're thinking of a career transition and this stuff is kind of interesting to you, there is a whole world out there for you. And it's not something you necessarily need a degree or a certification in because a lot of them don't exist yet. So, if this is something that you are really resonating with, there is space for you in the AI world. Also, AI skills are definitely starting to become more in demand. It's not that AI is taking over your job, but it is taking over tasks. And if you are the one that knows what's going on the back end of that, you become a very valuable and useful commodity in the marketplace. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Here are some free AI tools. I hope you've heard of ChatGPT. Copilot is the Microsoft browser version. You've got Gemini through Google, and I just mentioned how they're the number one in photo imagination right now using Nano Banana. And then I put Claude in here because I work in education, and Claude has been very useful. But there are others out there. So if you want to go ahead and put in the chat, what are some of your favorite AI? What are you using? Some of you might be using Grok, you might be using DeepSeek, but I always like to get a feel because sometimes I'm learning from you. You'll throw something out there that I'm not even familiar with, and then I'll, of course, go and check that out. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide while those are coming up. This is what ChatGPT looks like. I am in dark mode. Dark mode means that I chose to have a black screen instead of a white screen. It's nothing, I don't want you to get scared because you're like, mine doesn't look like that. I'm just in dark mode. You can do the same thing on your cell phone. Descript and perplexity. I haven't heard of Descript, but I've heard of perplexity. So good. I've got some, gamma. Isn't that so great? GitHub, Copilot. I'm seeing all sorts of things. And you're challenging me on a couple of them. That's great. Let's go to the next slide. I just want to give you an idea how similar all of these are looking. So Copilot right here. Let's go to the next slide. We're going to get a Gemini. So this is the Google version and what it looks like. I do want you to take a look at the very bottom of this slide where it says Gemini may display inaccurate info, including about people. So double check its responses. There's your warning, folks. We're working with artificial intelligence. Always check your sources. Now, I will talk to you about a couple today that are really great because they'll only use the sources that you allow it or that you upload. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and go to the next screen. All right, and this one is Claude. Like I said, I originally was doing Claude because you were able to upload documents so much easier. Every single one of these at this point, you can upload documents, you can upload photos. They all have varying degrees of talent with each of those. And so you'll want to play with that when you are uploading documents. And this is the part of the presentation where some people start saying, well, what about security? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe in security. I believe that your information is out there, and I know it is because I conduct all sorts of searches and can generally find information that you didn't want me to. I find this on your LinkedIn profiles. I find this on your Facebook profiles, your um, Instagram, your if you're using any of the social channels, your information is out there. Also, if you are applying online or you work for a company, a lot of your information is out there. So let's talk 2 seconds about security. Don't ever put anything out there that you don't want other people to see. Two, when you are in the job search, you have to apply online. So that information, meaning your name, your email, maybe your phone number, they're going to be out there. So if you have challenges with that, I suggest that perhaps you not put your physical address on a resume, but that you at least give people a way to contact you. Is it your LinkedIn profile? Is it your email? But we need to be able to contact you if we're going to hire you. So it's part of the game that we play. That is my soapbox on security. Take it or leave it. We're going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about some of the strengths and the limitations. As AI continues to grow and continues to learn, when we talk about machine learning, everything that is fed, speaking of security, everything that is fed to these large language models, the bots, the internet, um, goes into files, databases, all those kinds of things. And what machine learning is doing is learning from that information. And you see this all the time. I know many of you are Amazon users, that anytime you purchase something on Amazon, it says other users were interested in this. It's basically using machine learning and algorithms to figure out what is of interest to you and then target those things. Should I say promote or sell those things more and more to you. The same thing happens on your Facebook feed. The same thing happens on your Instagram or your Pinterest account. That's why you start noticing things showing up again and again and again. And really, the only way for you to do anything about that is to clear out your algorithm, reset, leave, and come back. But I just want you to be aware that that's where this idea generation and brainstorming. So here's strengths. Strengths are you can get fantastic information and ideas to help you think through your problems, through your challenges, through your the things that you're trying to do. For summarizing information, you can take loads and loads and loads of information in some of these things I'm going to show you today and let the AI do the synthesis that would take you hours to do and let that do summarization for you. Get concrete and concise summaries. Also, drafting and using writing tools to get your brain going. We use this all the time in our office where people will come in and the hardest part for them on their resume is the bullet statements. So what we do is I say, tell me a little bit about what you do. Let's type that into a paragraph. And then we throw it into some of these AI models and say, take this information. I want you to narrow it down to 3 concrete bullet points I can use for my resume. Make the bullet points 20 words or less. And then we look. And sometimes it gives us good stuff that we can tweak and that we can work with. And sometimes it gives us garbage that we just quickly throw away. That's where the human aspect of utilizing AI is so important. It's data in, data out, but we need humans to say, is this actually good data? Is this actually worthwhile? Is this worth reading, listening to, digesting, and actually using? So that's where your human intelligence comes to play. Now, also, AI is really good at data analysis and pattern recognition. And when I talk about pattern recognition, a lot of you are tuning out, but I want you to tune back in because we can start recognizing patterns in some of these AI models for the jobs that you are looking at. For example, what do I mean by a pattern? Some of you, I noticed a lot of you on the call are technology folks. And so you are at a critical juncture right now where there have been a number of layoffs in the computer sciences and things like that. So there's a lot of competition. Well, where do I go for roles similar to mine that are in a different area, a different angle. So maybe I was working for Intel or one of those, and now I want to take the skills that I had there and I want to transition into healthcare. Well, you can utilize AI to start recognizing patterns. Where are the crossroads between healthcare and cybersecurity? Give me the top 5 companies that are doing that in the US. Give me the top 5 companies that are doing that in the greater Phoenix metro area, or in Boston, Massachusetts, wherever y'all are at. These are ways that you can start getting AI to recognize patterns for you and start feeding you some of this information so that you aren't trying to just look through all these websites and find it. Okay. Now, automation of repetitive tasks, that goes without saying. We love it for that. But I also want to show you a way that you can use it for tutorials and for your own learning in ways that is different than reading a book. So, what we'll take a look at is I'll let you know it's one of the ones perhaps that I didn't send yet, and that is Notebook LM through Google, where you can generate quiz questions. You can do all sorts of things, and I'm excited to show you about that. Let's get to the limitations real quick. Um, we just read one from Gemini where it's like, hey, my information may not be correct. So if that's the case, you always need to verify your information provided by AI. Ask AI for its sources. Where did it come from? It's happy to cross-reference that for you. And then ask it, maybe you go to Google Scholar and you ask for scholarly resources. If you've not used Google Scholar, I highly recommend that you check that one out as well. That is giving you information that is researched, that is peer reviewed, and can be very helpful in you feeling more confident about what you're talking about. Limiting the scope. So one thing about AI is huge scope. You put in a query, a question, and it's just going out to the World Wide Web and just trying to gather a bunch of stuff. So you might use it for preliminary work or brainstorming, but I would love for you to use your own brain for the final critical decisions. Also, familiarize yourself with potential pitfalls, biases that AI can have, hallucinations that AI can have. So, biases could be things that, hey, this is all coming from one source, or this is all coming from similar sources. Hallucinations are when you feed the AI model, the large language model, too much information, and then it starts making stuff up. So you need to be aware that that can be possible. So you also want to make sure that your prompts are very clear, very specific. Otherwise, you may, data in, data out, you might get generic information or ambiguous or vague kind of things. So I want you to be aware of that. Also, AI tools are continuously being updated. So anybody who's been on this ride since the past couple of years when it became mostly available to the public, goodness gracious, it became so interesting how quickly machine learning is taking place. So be aware that it's always changing week to week. And one of the people that I follow, Igor Pajani, his link was in there. He just came out. I think I gave you the link to what to pay attention to in AI in 2026. He just posted it this week, I think. So with that, the feedback, the platform that you choose, whether it's Google or Gemini or any of the Google is Gemini, whether it's Claude, any of those, you just want to be aware of what some of their limitations are, where they're pulling their information, and you can literally ask it, where are you pulling this information from? So I would say have a professional, just like our resume coaches and things like that that are here today. Have them review any AI generated content and just make sure you're checking out and getting advice from a real human, not just from your AI. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. What I really want you to know that sets you apart in the world of AI is your prompt engineering. So, prompt engineering is the questions that you ask. Basically, anything that you're asking of a large language model is called a prompt. So, it can be a simple question. But you can use this for crafting your resumes, putting your CVs together, or the difference between a resume and a CV, your personal statements. I work with a lot of college students that are going to grad school, interview preparation, but also helping you generate ideas about what is the work that I've been doing and how can I talk about it? How can I make my bullet points more succinct? How can I help my interview answers be more on point with the people that I'm talking to? It can provide you with tips, and you can also ask it to help you edit. So you could put in your master resume, the one that's really long, 5 or 6 pages, because it goes back. If I'm talking to Aiden, it goes back 20 years because you've got at least 20 years work experience, and help you identify which of these jobs, roles, and bullet statements are going to make sense for the job I'm going toward. And then you can ask it, how can I get those into the top third of my resume? So just some things as far as prompt engineering. So let's get a little deeper into this, because this is the important piece. The accuracy and relevance of your results all depend on the quality of your question. Now, we know that as humans, I can ask you a simple yes no question and I get a very succinct answer. But if I say, oh, are you all understanding this? You're all going to nod your head and you're all going to say yes. And 3/4 of you don't know what I'm talking about. So I want you to get better at what's the information that I'm providing? What's the context that I'm giving? How specific and relevant are the keywords? Am I pulling information? Am I utilizing job descriptions? Am I using company websites and jargon and news posts and YouTube videos to actually get the specific language that I need for these positions? Also, make sure that your personalization, and we'll talk about that, it may be different than what you think. And then basically, how do I interact? So let's go to the next slide. I sent this link to you already, but I want you to start playing with this. This is Cosmobot. This is a bot that I built this last summer to do what I do. In other words, I have a lot of students. We have 34,000 students here at Brigham Young University, and I am not scalable. I am one guy. I work 8 to 5. I don't want to work at 2 o'clock in the morning when most of my students are doing their homework. So I created this bot. Our school mascot at BYU is Cosmo the Cougar. So Cosmobot, it's basically for BYU students, and I'm giving it to you for free. So you have fun with it. It is based out of ChatGPT, which means if you have a ChatGPT subscription for $20 a month, you have unlimited queries. If you have the free version, you're limited to about 7 questions per day. I'm not the one that makes the rules. I'm just the one that plays by them. So with that, I can let you decide based on playing with this, whether or not you think it's worth the $20 a month for you to invest to play with this even more. It's not my money. I don't get any money for this. It's all going to ChatGPT and OpenAI. However, you be the decision maker. If this is something that you're like, no, I need to be able to ask more questions. Well, think about it this way. If you were going to do some demolition work at a house, would you pay for the tools that would help you do that? In other words, a hammer, a nail gun, different things that are going to help a garbage bin. This can be one of the tools that helps you in your job search. So if you find benefit in it, great, go ahead and use it. So Cosmobot has been filled with everything that I train my team on, all of the resume, cover letter, interview tips, life design principles from Stanford in the Designing Your Life curriculum, Clifton Strengths Finder. If you are familiar with the Clifton Strengths, it's got all of that baked in. And so if you are a Clifton Strengths person, you can take a look at that. It's basically, I fed it loads and loads of things to do what I do. And the scary thing is, folks, it's remarkably accurate. When I start feeding it things and it comes back, I'm like, that's exactly what I would have said. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. But I want you to just start playing with it, have fun with it. The link was in the chat. If you get lost and don't listen to me anymore and start playing with Cosmobot, more power to you. I think it's going to be great for you. Let's go ahead and go to the next screen. Oh, I didn't even tell you. Sorry, go back to the prompt. You've all read the prompt by now. Can you give me common behavioral interview questions for a UX designer role? Notice what I'm doing here. I'm assigning it, hey, this is the role. This is what I'm looking for. This is a much better question than, can you give me a list of behavioral interview questions? So, what we're going to look at as we go through these next few steps is I want you to start being more particular and intentional about what you're asking. So, that whole remember section, that we just looked at on the slide before this. So let's go and take a look at what are effective prompts. So here we go with engineering with AI. What are the current job market trends in the intersection of healthcare and technology? You probably have not been doing your queries that way or your prompts. Seeking guidance. What are some potential career paths with someone with a degree in human resources that wants to work in technology? So, do you see the difference here? Instead of just saying, hey, I'm looking for human resources, let's be a little more specific. Let's give some relevant keywords. Let's give it some context so that when I interact with the AI, I'm getting better results. I love this one. What are mid level salaries with a master's degree in computer science? Now, we could make that even better. And you can put in the chat ideas that you have to make that even better, because that way, other people on the call right now are going to see how you're doing queries and it's going to be helpful for everyone. But if I were going to do that, I would say not just my industry, but I would say in the Phoenix metro area or the Boston area or in the San Fernando Valley, so that it can get even more specific for you. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. And like I said, if you're playing on this on the side, great. That's what I love. Some more effective search prompts. What are the most sought after programming languages for data science roles in healthcare, in um, marketing, in computer science? So think about what is everybody else looking at? What are the ones that are basically being shown? Because for those of you who have been riffed, laid off, let go in the past number of months, perhaps year, well, where are these jobs now? Maybe another question, and it's not on this slide, but another question you could ask is, with these skill sets and transferring from this industry, what other industries should I be looking at that need these skills today? That is not a yes no question. That is what I call a very good prompt question. So, when we're looking at these companies, can you provide me examples of companies in Seattle that are hiring HR managers with AI resource or AI knowledge? Like I said, from the World Economic Forum, they're saying that in the next 5 years, 80% of companies are going to retool or reskill their workforce in AI. I know we have some trainers and development folks on this call today. You might want to transition your learning into AI so that you can be the one that's going in and consulting with all of those companies to transition their workforce into AI workers, meaning they know how to use AI, they know the efficiencies. Gosh, your billable hours will be out the roof for the next 5 to 7 years on this. So, aren't you glad you came to the call today? Could you provide an example of a well written cover letter for a marketing role? Now, that's effective. I want you to put in the chat, how could we make that more effective? Could you provide an example of a well written cover letter? That's fine. That's generic. Marketing role, that's fine. That's generic. Is it a social media marketing? What type of marketing is it? What market is that in? Is it in a very small market? Can you list the 5 top companies in Billings, Montana that are doing AI marketing? Because some of you want to work remote. And so Billings, Montana may be the place for you. And this is where AI can become a very powerful tool. Also, I want you to iterate. This is what we're doing. We're using iterative questioning. We're starting out with a basic question, and then we are getting better and better and better. I just saw something. Justin, which chatbots have the most current data for job postings, salary, etc.? All of them do, because they're all pulling on the same information from the World Wide Web. So when I say check your sources, a better prompt would say, and give me your sources. And it'll say, oh, this came from Indeed.com, and this came from, it'll give you the websites that it's pulling from. So, really great question. Thank you for asking. Oh, there's a good one. Based on this job description, provide the job posting and language. That would be really great. You can even ask for code scripting. A lot of you are technical folks, so you can ask where they're getting that. Really amazing things. So somebody's asking in the chat if we could repost the Cosmobot. If you guys will do that on the back end, that'll help me to just keep going. Narrow down your search results. Once you have asked the question, then you want to narrow your results. If it's too broad, ask a more detailed question. Can you provide examples of companies in, we did this, a certain state, a certain location, in the Western region, in the UK? Maybe you're thinking about going abroad. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, here is a very viable prompt pattern. Is it the only prompt pattern in the world? No. But is it one that works? Absolutely. You're going to assign the bot a role. So specify the role. I put in mid-level chemical engineer, but if I was putting something in, think of it this way. You can be both the searcher, meaning the job seeker, or you can be the hiring manager or the recruiter. So you can specify the role. Hey, you are a recruiter for this role in this state with this company. What are the top 10 interview questions you need in order to make a decision? So you have assigned it a role, you've given it a task to be accomplished. I want the interview questions, and then what kind of format? I would like this in a table. I would like this in a handout. I would like this in a infographic, whatever it is that you want the output. So it's going for your learning style. Now, I'm going to show you again in Notebook LM just the amazing, amazing things that we can do with this. My gosh, my time's almost up. Keep going. Next prompt or next screen. I hope you're having fun. If you're having fun, put a 10 in the chat, please. If you're not, well, go play with some of these tools. You'll have more fun. All right. Thank you, Patty. Here's what we're doing. This is Notebook LM. This is one of my favorites right now. Not better than Cosmobot, but actually in some ways it is. So if you want to go ahead and navigate out to this, it's Notebook LM. Put that in a Google search. You will get a screen that looks somewhat like this. But oh my goodness, hold on to your boots, folks, because this is so cool. All right. What I'm showing you right now is actually the handout I prepared for you that you'll get after the presentation today. But what I did is I went to Notebook LM, and over on the right-hand side, once I opened a notebook, so you're going to go up to the top where it says create a notebook. Every one of you, go ahead and do this. I know this is not supposed to be a lunch and learn, but just go ahead and practice. Create a new notebook. And here's what I suggest. Not what I've done. I'll tell you what I've done, but here's what I suggest. I suggest you get your resume, your master resume. You get a job description or 2 or 10 that you are interested in. You get company information, and you upload all of that on the left-hand side, where you see where it says Notebook LM interview prep handout. I created a handout and I put it into this Notebook LM. What's really cool is if you want to do some fast research, notice on the left-hand side where it says fast research. I choose fast research because most of the time I'm in a hurry. You can also hit that toggle and get in-depth research. Here's the thing. Because this is a free service, you're going to be limited to the number of queries or questions you can do. If you feel like this is something worth paying for later, you go right ahead. I don't get any money for it. They don't even know I'm talking about it. But That fast research, you can type into the web for new resources, and you could literally say, what are the top 10 ways to use Notebook LM? And it's going to come up with anything that anybody's posted in Reddit forums, on the internet, in Forbes magazine, and it's going to come up with all of those resources, and it's just going to spit them out on the left. And then you get to hand pick which ones you actually want it to use for your process. Okay. So with that, what I did is I uploaded the handout that I had created for my office. And then when I uploaded it, that's where I got the Notebook LM interview prep playbook. It literally read it and said, hey, okay, here's a summary of what it is and what we can do with it. Amazing. I thought that was great. This is great for cataloging information, pulling large amounts of information together and having it do the synthesis for you. But oh my goodness, over here on the right side, look at all the things that it can do. So, audio overview, you guys, this is the craziest thing. I don't know what your learning style is, but for me, I travel an hour to 2 hours to work every day. And so I listen to a lot of radio, podcasts, things like that. You can literally turn your job descriptions and your resume into a podcast by clicking on the audio overview. You guys, it's crazy. It will take the information, it'll put it into a podcast form and have two, not one, but two different hosts on the podcast. You guys, it will blow your mind because it then starts taking all of your information, turning it into this podcast that you can play while you're walking in the grocery store, while you're babysitting kids with one AirPod in. It's a totally new way for you to learn. You can create an infographic. You can create reports. You can create a video. And when I say you create it, you don't do anything. You just sit back and watch it do its thing. So notice here, I basically had it generate an infographic for you of all these things that I'm talking about for your job search. You can have it generate quizzes that will help you understand what RAG is or help you understand concepts that maybe you don't understand in the job description so you can start filling in that knowledge gap. You can create a slide deck, a PowerPoint, a presentation, whatever it is that you want that's going to help you learn that role for that interview. Are you guys freaking out right now? Jessica, you don't know about this one. We haven't talked about this. Wait until you see this. You're going to love this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. In a Google search or in Cosmobot, I want you to type in there, what are the top 10 things for me to do today utilizing Notebook LM for my job search? Again, what are the top 10 things for me to do today in Notebook LM to maximize my job search? If nothing else, if this was the only thing, the only gift that I had to give you today, it was worth the money you paid to come. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. I love this one so much. There is so much information out there for you to digest. Let's get yourself an AI companion to help you out with that. Okay, this one I also put in the chat. This was created by our team. My colleagues in the business school at Brigham Young University put this together. How to use generative AI, which is basically AI, in your job search. There are prompts for cover letters, resumes, coffee chats, networking. All of the prompts that you might want to use are going to be in this 40-page guide. 40 pages. Okay, well, don't complain. Throw this guide into Notebook LM as one of your resources and let it do the heavy lifting. You don't have to read 40 pages. Let it do the reading and then let it act as an agent to help you when you need specific things about networking or what am I going to say in this networking email on LinkedIn? Let it do that work for you. Okay, we're into my last slide here. The next one, somebody that I follow, this is author Jeremy Schiffling. He wrote the book, literally, the expensive, not expensive career coach, GPT. He takes you step by step in this book, and you can get it in audio form. I have the audio and I have the physical copy. I think it's $10 on Amazon, folks. Again, if you're going to spend money, spend it on something that's going to get you motivation, momentum, and move you in the direction you want to go. Jeremy's great. You can go out on YouTube videos. He's been on podcasts numerous times with different universities and other areas. So take a look at that one. And then the other one that I threw out there was Igor Pajani. I literally just finished taking an AI boot camp from he and Dean Graziosi, who you guys know is tied in with Tony Robbins. He lives there in Paradise Valley, Arizona. Holy cow, I paid $1,000. I learned how to save at least half an hour a week. That was totally worth my money. But you don't have to pay for the stuff I paid for. You can go follow Igor on YouTube. You can follow Jeremy. You can follow me, but I'm not posting like they are. But these are all great resources that I hope that you learn from, you enjoy. The next slide is the summary of what we've covered today. What I'd love for you to do is put in the chat, what is one thing that you learned today that you didn't know when you came through the Zoom window? We are talking about enhancing your efficiency, personalized matchmaking, the job, not maybe you can use it for the other kind too. Skill enhancement. How can I learn? Where can I catalog all of this information? Also, this summary was written by ChatGPT. With that, I want to thank you. I hope you've had a great day today. I know that I have. And here's to an amazing 2026 for all of you.
Yay! Yay! Justin, I have a couple questions because we actually do have a few minutes because we go to
Yay!
10 with you. So yes. One of the questions that I loved on here, and it's one we get a lot, and I know that you know this, advice for getting past the AI screening. Somebody had mentioned, to avoid HR, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you got to work with HR, but there are ways to get around kind of the feeling like you just submitted your resume to a black hole and you never are hearing back. So any thoughts there?
Okay, I love this. We're going to test Cosmobot right now. I want you to ask Cosmobot that question and want you to see how closely my answer mirrors Cosmobot. So all of you go out to Cosmobot, plug in this question, and it's basically, how do I get past the AI screening? And what I want you to say instead is, how do I get past the applicant tracking system, or ATS? And how do I get past a human screening of an HR person? Okay. So let me start with the ATS part because we're talking tech. Applicant tracking system is basically a robot that reads your resume before any human does. Now, if you are not taking time to throw your resume into one of these models that I just showed you and having it review your resume for keywords and phrases or ideas from the job description, you're absolutely 100% wasting your time. Absolutely 100%, because the human does not get to see the resume first. You apply online, it goes through an applicant tracking system, and this is going to save you hours, hours and hours. You can literally upload your resume into Cosmobot or into Notebook LM and the job description and say, do a synthesis for keywords and phrases that will get me past the applicant tracking system. And it will literally outline them for you, identify the gaps for you. It'll give you a score saying, hey, you're at about 50 to 60%, or hey, you're at 90%. Here's what I'd suggest. I hope you're all smiling at this point. Lexi is, I know she is. So with that, that's the applicant tracking system. Now we're talking about humans. Okay, well, humans are complex. We have all sorts of biases, things like that. But let me break it down into its simplest form. I have given you a job description and I have put it on the internet. And if you will consider that Justin Jones' grocery list for all the things he wants to buy at your store, then here's what you need to do. Tell me how much of that I can buy at your store, at Lexi Inc., at Wendy Inc., at Laura Brown Inc. That's what we're doing. It is literally things that you learned in kindergarten. We learned three things in kindergarten. We learned how to color, we learned how to match, and we learned cut and paste activities. You're literally letting AI help you with that. I used to have people print out the job description, highlight everything they want that you know that you've got, and that's the coloring part. And then I would say, okay, now match it. You used to have to do that on your own. Instead, let AI do it. Okay, I've got all of these things that they want. Here's my resume. Show me the matching. Where does it match up? What job does it match up with? If it's the 16 years ago from Aiden Foley, then I need to figure out a way to get that to the top of my resume. Here's the easiest way to do that: relevant experience. Instead of the title experience or summary of experience, use the title of relevant experience. It means you can break chronology and pull up that stuff from 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. Then you still have to talk about your other stuff. And so you call that other experience. And you diminish that and focus on what it is that I'm trying to buy. This is the mindset of the employer, and AI can help you get there. But what I really want at this point is for you to focus on, what am I thinking? The person who's either screening these or the person who needs to hire you, I have my needs, my quieros, right? The Taco Bell commercial. What about my quieros? It's not about you and the tasks that you did. It's about, what did you do that I'm interested in? What can you do for me? Okay, that's my long answer to a short question. And I'm sure ChatGPT or Cosmobot might even have been more succinct.
Yeah, and it gives
So,
a really good list, Justin, of exactly step by step, and it covers everything you said.
boom! You guys, it's crazy.
Like you know what you're talking about, Justin.
That's why I really did it. It's like, oh, okay, good, good. All right. Was there another question?
Yes, I have. I think this one is really important as we wrap it up. And I'm hearing all the time that AI is really a wonderful thing and so helpful. The flip side of that is people that are submitting resumes that are standard AI. Maybe their resume is inflated.
Oh my
It's not
gosh, yes.
true. Talk to us a little bit about that, especially people
Okay.
who are jumping into it.
Okay.
Be cautious.
Okay. So, yes, here we go. I warned you about this in the beginning, but we're coming back to it. And every resume writer on the call right now is going to be like, oh, thank goodness we talked about this. It is a starting point, not a final draft or end point. You are the end point. You are the one that brings this to life, and it needs to reflect your stamp. I'm not hiring a robot, I'm hiring a human. We hire humans. So there needs to be things about fit, meaning not how fit you are, but how you are a fit for our culture. You can ask AI to review company information, but you need to go out and you need to talk to people who are in the industry, who are in the organization. That's what LinkedIn is for. You can go ahead and scrub LinkedIn and find people who are working at that organization and maybe even connections to them. Have conversations with them. The very first thing I do when I think about a job, I don't go and look and see if it's posted. I think, who do I know that knows somebody that does this? Who could I talk to? Who else could I talk to? That is going to be such a much better use of your time than just applying, applying, applying. So, back to the question at hand. What about my resume? I highly caution you on utilizing a fully AI resume. What I want you to do is I want you to do a mix. Take your experience, marry it with their needs, and use AI to assist you to do that. But you could actually get AI to even put in data, facts, and statistics for you. They'll all be wrong. You need to go back and you need to edit and make sure that your stats, your statistics, your data, your results, your impact are the things that make the difference and make you stand out to the recruiter, to the hiring manager. And it needs to be your truth. So utilize this as a brainstorm, use it as a starting point, not as an ending point. Did I do okay on that?
That was good. That was good. And a lot of questions are coming in the chat. And I am going to recommend to many of you take those questions and drop them into the bot Justin gave us all. Because like there are questions, what AI subscriptions do you recommend paying for? What kind of AI certification will help in landing a job? Like if you put all of those questions directly into the bot, you're going to get similar advice as to what Justin would directly give you anyway. And so I love that, Justin. I so appreciate you giving us a tool like a bot that's so unique and so helpful to our group. So any last comments before we transition next?
Just the last comment, which you'll probably mention, but I am sticking around until 11 o'clock. I can answer those questions in my breakout room as well. But I'm really excited. You guys, I want you to play. I want you to play with this. I don't want you to become frustrated. If you become frustrated, get up and take a walk and come back to it. But play. This is all play at this point. You can't break it, and it can help you. So go have fun with it.
Oh, how about a round of applause for Justin? A virtual hey. I have gotten so many messages directly and then comments in the chat about, oh my gosh, I didn't catch everything, or I missed a whole bunch of stuff he said, or how can I get the play? We are recording this, and the playback link will be in your email after the event today. It takes a little bit of time to upload, and so it might not be live until this afternoon. But don't worry, you're getting this content. You can watch it back as much as you want. And so that will come today, including the link to Cosmo. You will get that also in your email. And Justin has on the email, we have all of his resources he gave you guys today will be attached to that email as well. So thank you again, Justin. We love having you here, and the content is so great. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to move over to my dear friend. I'm so excited to have Jenny in the room. She is a former teacher turned style coach who helps busy professionals rediscover confidence in their closets. Through her signature style school and seasonal capsule wardrobes, she teaches practical, body-flattering strategies that make getting dressed easy and fun, no matter your size, shape, or budget. Her motto, you don't need more clothes, you just need the right ones. So we are going from the tech world to the kind of face-to-face human experience here. How do you show up to interviews and networking? So please help me welcome my dear friend, Jenny Zook.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to talk about this. Yes, I was like, we're going from like AI and robots to like the actual human part of this, right? So I wanted to ask, can you guys, if I back up, am I like the spotlight or whatever? Can you see my whole body? Because that's key.
Well, we see you in the spotlight. I see the presentation. Wendy, if you unshare the presentation right now, Wendy is working on the back end. There we go. You're live.
Okay, great. Okay. So, how many of you, just by looking at me, have already decided or are saying something like, this is the chick that they brought here to talk to me about style? Yeah, probably, right? I'm saying it to myself because this outfit is not me. It's not a representation of who I am. I'm trying to unwind myself and keep my AirPods in, okay? This is what our brains naturally do. And one thing I do this a lot, and one thing I always say is our clothes are sending messages externally, right? And I always say, that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. Because where our actual power lies are the messages they're sending internally. But what we're actually going to be talking about today is how do we bring those two things together? Because when you're putting yourself in front of people for an interview, it absolutely does matter how they are interpreting who you are and what you bring to the table. And they're doing that by checking you out, right? So we're going to talk about, I'm going to move now into presentation mode. I just like being able to show the actual visual. Okay, so we can go back to the presentation. Great. Let's see. Now I see everybody, but I don't. Okay, here we go. Great. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of how do you take pieces of who you are and marry that with how do I show up in a way that they're going to receive that shows that I am the right person for this position. Okay, so we're going to take both of those concepts. We can go to the next slide as we talk through my slides today. So I hope that you just saw proof, right, that what you wear does have an impact. I know that sometimes that lands funny for people, but it's just the truth. Like we're visual creatures and we're wired that way. So it needs to be taken into consideration once you've gotten through all of the interview or the resumes and you've made it through all of those screenings. Like, this does matter. And what I teach all the time is that confidence really starts with a belief. And I believe in myself more when I am feeling more or like my most authentic version of myself in my clothes. And that translates, right? And that outfit that I was just wearing, it like is a confidence killer. So we have to figure out those pieces of us and how we can reflect them in what we're putting on our bodies. And then I'm going to share some tangible outfit formulas based on body shape. So typically men on the call, I usually work with women, but there are some slides here that are directed just for you. So hang tight as I'm kind of going through this. It will land for you as well. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So I just pulled up some statistics that I think are really important. And I'm not going to like read this verbatim and you can go back through this. But I just think they're really important to highlight because sometimes this is an afterthought or we think we're hitting the mark on how to show up for an interview. And there are some things that I think have become, I don't know, more prevalent in today's job market that I think there's some things that we should take into consideration. So this first one, respondents feel more confident in their abilities when they're confident in their style. So again, when you are putting something on your body that makes you feel most like you, it's going to show up and that energy is going to translate to the people who are asking all of the questions. And the people who are asking the questions definitely are taking in that energy and what else they're seeing, right? So if you're showing up inappropriately or like your outfit doesn't necessarily match their company or their vibe, that's going to be part of the information that they're taking away from their experience with you. And if you're dressed up, right, instead of showing up super casually, that does also have an impact. And those first impressions are just really, really important. But this last one, I think, is the one that I am most passionate about. And it's about, sorry, I want to make sure that I say it right. Oh, I can't see the whole thing. Essentially, it's about how you take, oh, there it is. It's not just about showing up in a suit and tie. It's about being authentic. So how do you show up professionally, but also in a way that says something about who you are? Because at the end of the day, you want to leave an impression with those people, right? You don't just want to be, inside the box and you dress like everybody else that showed up for the interview in a suit and tie or a skirt and a top. Like, we want to leave an impression so they remember us. And I think when we are dressing in the most authentic way, that is what happens. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So I had this idea that I wanted to challenge the idea of dressing for success, because I think the way, at least I'm in my midlife era, the way that I was taught this was like, you are wearing a suit, right? You are dressing up. And I think that has changed a little bit. And dress codes of what's appropriate in the office is also sort of morphing and catching up with culture. And so I like this definition better. You're matching who you are with where you're going, right? And so your clothes are giving you confidence, credibility, and connection. All of those things. Because if you're hitting all three of those, you're going to leave a lasting impression in that interview. Okay, we can move on. So I also came up with this formula: authenticity, context, and strategy. So before you're ever going to pick out your outfit, I'm going to give you some tangibles of how to do that. What message does this industry expect? And maybe this is something you can pop into one of those AI platforms. What are they looking for, right? What message should my outfit be sending? And then how do I reflect myself and not look like I'm dressing in a costume? We don't want that, because that is going to immediately come across. And then how do I choose silhouettes, like the shape of my outfit, that support my body, right? I think sometimes too, we try to stuff ourselves into what we think we should be wearing instead of things that are actually complementing the bodies that we're living in today. Because if you are sitting in an interview and you're squirming and you're adjusting and you're like, oh, they're looking at this and it's popping out over here, that's not the energy that any of us want to bring. So how do we pick the clothes that not only reflect who we are, but are also really comfortable and are complementary to our body shapes? Something I talk a lot about. So I'm sure you've seen this meme before, but I want to highlight this. And I'm going to, on the next slide, just a second, I'm going to walk through my list, and I would encourage all of you to do the same. Create this list for yourself. So not only am I nicer when I like my outfit, I'm more productive. I serve my clients better. I'm a better mom. I'm a better friend. Like, I'm a better everything when I feel at home in the clothes that I'm putting on my body. And again, that translates. People can feel that. People can see it and they can sense it. And so when you can leverage that, it's really, really powerful. And it's a tool that we should all be using when we're putting ourselves in front of others, asking for a job, asking for the position, asking to be the right fit. So this is what my list looks like. We can go to the next slide. It might be, you might resonate with some of these, you might not, and that's okay. But I would encourage you, go through this short exercise. What does make you love your outfit? Understand those things about yourself when you go through this. So it has to match my personality, right? Like, it better say something about who I am. It has to fit my body, not the mannequin, not the influencer, not anybody who's been giving me advice. Like, it has to fit my body and flatter my shape. I love color. I love this hot pink jacket. I will tell you, anytime I wear it, people remember it. That is a huge piece of leverage when you're going in to some type of interview. They're going to say, hey, you remember that chick in the pink? And I said chick twice in this thing. Remember her in that hot pink jacket? Do something. And the guide that I created for you that's going to come out in the email gives you some ideas of how you can incorporate these pieces of your personality when you're going to build an outfit for an interview. Got to be comfortable. I do not believe in sacrificing comfort for style. That's a hard no. I know that I can wear the pieces in multiple ways because you're probably going on more than one interview, right? And I want to be able to wear them in my everyday life. Like, I don't need like an interview wardrobe. I need like my life wardrobe. It's got to give me energy, right? I want it to make me feel something. It has to take me less than 3 minutes to pick out my outfit. So I got to be quick, and it needs to leave an impression, right? I want to walk out of there knowing that there's something that they're going to remember about me, and maybe it's my hot pink jacket. So let's talk about, how do we get there? So for women and men, this is a piece of the equation for you, but it's easier for you, I will say. So for women, when you are going to put clothes on your body, it does help to know, generally speaking, what shape am I? Okay. Now, I also love to make sure that you hear this loud and clear. Generally speaking, you're like going to fit kind of into one of these categories, but it is not black and white. Okay. So as we're going through this, just know that there is a lot of gray when it comes to personal style and figuring out the clothes that really light you up and what fit your frame best. There's wiggle room, but this gives you a really good place to start. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the body shapes, just quickly explain what they mean. And then there's some outfit formulas that you can go back to. Again, these are in the guide. I'm not going to talk through every single one because it would take forever. And I only have 6 minutes left. So I'm going to go through these relatively quickly, but hopefully they just give you some direction when you're going to pick out an outfit of how you can look in the mirror and give yourself that boost of confidence instead of the negative self-talk, because that's obviously not going to help when you're putting yourselves in front of others. Okay. So first body shape is the pear, like your shoulders, right, are the narrowest part of your body. And you might carry some weight around your midsection, your waist and your hips. Okay. Could go to the next slide. So you will also see, this is the cool thing, I think, that gives women permission to understand, like, these formulas and some of these pieces you might see translate over different body types, because it's not black and white. It's not like, hey, if you're a pear shape, these are the only clothes that you should be wearing, and no other body shape should be wearing them, right? There is a lot of flexibility once you kind of understand some of these basics, the rules. So these are going to give you some ideas of how you can put pieces together that are going to emphasize and create some proportionality on your body. I love a flare jean because it's putting some volume on the bottom half of your body where there typically isn't any on a pair. And then maybe a fun sleeve up top just creates more balance, and you will feel differently when you are looking at yourself in an outfit like that, that's putting volume other places besides your waist and your hips. Next slide. Okay, oops, apple. So what back one? Apple shapes carry a lot of weight around their midsection, or if they put any weight on their body, that's where it goes. A lot of women in midlife tend to struggle with this, with all of the joys that midlife brings. So what do we do when we're trying to create an outfit that makes us feel really good? And there may be weight on your body that you've never had before. So here are some ideas for that. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so you see a flare here too. This also works. I love a cropped flare. So instead of a full length, this is just going to show your ankle, and it's going to, again, put some volume on the bottom half of your body, and then wearing something that has a strong shoulder, whether that's a blazer or a top that has, like this top here, kind of juts out off the shoulder to bring the line of sight and what people are focusing on to other parts of your body besides your midsection. Wide legs are also really great for this. Be careful if you're looking at a wide leg that you're buying one that looks like this and does not look like this. Okay, a lot of the youngins are wearing pants that look like this these days, and those are not for us ladies that are a little more mature, if you will. Okay, next. All right, hourglass. Smallest part of your body is your waist, so we're going to accentuate that. And then go to the next slide. And we want to do that where we're drawing some attention. So I love a faux wrap on an hourglass shaped body where it's going to really, you can manipulate this dress actually ties, right? And you get to decide where it ties, how it ties. And it also creates some texture on the body. So if you are wanting to create some camouflaging, you can do that by kind of the folds that kind of naturally occur in a dress, throwing on either a blazer or a denim jacket to bring a little bit more balance. And I love nude shoes on the feet when you're wearing a dress because it really just makes you look taller, which is something I appreciate because I am not a tall person. The other caveat I want to say, like some of these look relatively casual, but it's the shape that I want to talk about. So yes, there's denim on here, but you can look for pieces that are going to mimic the shapes in the creation of these outfits. So while I maybe wouldn't recommend sneakers and a t-shirt going into an interview, you can still mimic these same shapes and maybe a more elevated version of that top or pant or whatever. Okay, next slide. Last one, a rectangle. You're kind of just like the same. Shoulders, waist, hips, they're all sort of the same measurement. So the idea with a rectangle is that you're going to want to create a little visual curve where there maybe is not curve on your body. So I love a barrel pant for this. Barrels are very trendy, but sometimes trends can be our friends. And a barrel is a subtle barrel, not a horseshoe, going to give a little curvature to the body. And then you can do things that have gathering or throwing on a blazer over the top of it is going to give this illusion that there's curve on your body where there really isn't. Okay, let's talk about the men for a quick minute as we're running out of time. So I just gave this a couple of ideas here, corporate and traditional, and then maybe like more of like a tech job, because those two types of interviews or workplaces are going to require a different kind of dress code, right? And so also these are going to be by body type, so that you can think about when I'm looking for pieces, what is going to actually accentuate my body? And that depends, how you're built. So these are going to give you some good ideas of how you can put together a suit, or even just, a suit jacket and maybe some slacks and then a nice shoe. And then on the next one, obviously in a tech world, these are a little bit more casual. You can get away with more, where you're maybe wearing things that are not tucked in, and maybe you're wearing a blazer, but you can get away with jeans and a funky sneaker. That is giving a little more personality. And again, so I give these ideas in the guide so you can come back and reference them to give you some actual tangible things that you could go look at and say, like, would this say something about me so that I'm leaving a lasting impression? And it feels like my outfit is speaking the same language as the company or the industry that I am going to look for. And that is the end of my presentation. So I guess just in closing, I would say, don't forget about who you are when you're going to put clothes on your body for an interview, because that's the magic. That's the power that you have. And they can really tell a story outside of your words that I think is really powerful.
Awesome, Jenny. So good. Everybody loves your Fleetwood Mac t-shirt, and we're really disappointed you took that off, by the way.
I do love that t-shirt, but I don't love it with the other pieces. That's a piece. The other two I bought like purposely because I hate them. But I do wear that Fleetwood Mac t-shirt with other things that I love, and I love Fleetwood Mac. So
yes. Well, hello. And Justin dropped in the chat a way to use AI with your recommended list of what to wear on our bodies. So you need to go back to the chat and scroll up to see what that is, because you can integrate that into your talks maybe. And I think it's super helpful for people to do that. So Jenny, amazing. Thank you for the resources. How about a huge virtual applause for Jenny for being here today? Awesome. We so appreciate you. And Jenny will be in the breakout session. So if any of you have questions about, your body style or what you're struggling with, or pieces in your closet that she might be able to help you with, or she would love that. So feel free to connect with her there. All right, we're going to close it out here. And I just want to go through some of the resources. If you have any feedback for us, please shoot us an email at contact@careerconnectors.org. A couple of you mentioned to me today that you were having some issues getting on to, or getting reminders. And so I checked in the databases. You're all clear now. But if you have anything you need to reach out to us for, please reach out to contact@careerconnectors.org. All right. And in your email you get today, there's going to be multiple resources for you. One of them is the webinar recording. So this recording, there will be a link so you can go look at this recording, and actually all of our previous recordings for the last 5 years are out there. And so you can view that. Also, Top Talent Consulting provides us a no-cost DISC assessment for you. A DISC assessment is a behavioral assessment. Justin actually mentioned Myers-Briggs in his talk and some other things. This is an assessment that you can learn a little bit about your style, your ideal work environment. It'll take you about 10 minutes, and it'll report out about a 20-ish page report about you. So no cost to that. Just click on that. We are on social media a lot on LinkedIn, and so please feel free to connect with us there, as well as Instagram. Also, we have the Resume Writers and Coaches Association on the call today. Many of them have been answering some of the messages in our chat. And so they will be at the breakout. And the reason we want to make sure you guys know who the resume writers are and the coaches that we bring in, we want you to know that they are professional, certified. There are so many opinions about resumes when you're putting together your resume. I know it can feel overwhelming. Justin gave us a ton of great resources on AI, and these these resume writers are going to give you the human experience, the human side, how to make it yours. And so bring your resume into the breakout rooms, or just if you have questions, they would love to answer those. So I saw Donna, I believe April is here, and I saw Amanda. Those are 3 of them I know of that are here today. And then we'll talk about that in just a few minutes in the breakout sessions. And then we also have Best Companies AZ on the line. I believe both Denise and Sydney may be here today. They are a company that helps promote award-winning companies. They specifically reside in Arizona. That's where their corporate location is. But the companies they work with have been companies that are national award-winning companies. There's a list of some of them on this page. They hire locally and they hire nationally. So even if you're in this call today from Texas or California or wherever, they possibly have jobs available for you at one of these companies. They're not a staffing firm, but they're here just to help you connect with some of the best places to work across the nation. Those are some of the awards that they promote for their clients that have won those awards. So thanks, Denise. Thanks, Sydney, for being here. Now, we have some really good stuff coming up, you guys. I love this event so much. I love kicking off a new year and all the energy behind it. What we have coming up, our next event, we do these once a month, these virtual events. We have LinkedIn coming up and how to negotiate a higher starting salary at a new job. And so we get the salary, LinkedIn and salary questions are some of the top questions. They're like 2 and 3 next to resumes. And so we have Amanda Miller, who is on the call today, as well as Laura Brown. They're actually going to be our keynote speakers next time. They're on the call today. So if you have any questions for them, I'm sure they would be happy to answer them. Then on March 12th, we're going to go into navigating security and avoiding scams. This was one of our most asked for events last year. We have brought Jim McConnell back. He is a security expert. And he had a short 20-minute talk last time. He's going to do it with a full hour keynote. And he is phenomenal in what he does. And then we are bringing in a counselor along with Jim. So we're doing it again. We're kind of going the tech side, and then we're going to more on the human side on this one. And Mark, my amazing husband, is going to be talking about mindset matters and thriving through career transition. Mark has been a recruiter for over 20 years, and then the last 10 years, he is a licensed professional counselor. And so he really understands that full grief cycle. So that's on March 12th. And then April 9th, we do our annual, one of our best events, a resume reboot. This is our expert resume and LinkedIn panel. And some of the ladies that are on the call right now will be featured at this event. We'll be talking resumes and our bonus session on LinkedIn. So some really cool stuff coming up. And I hope you're there for all of those. We have a program called Inspired Lead Her that launches. Actually, I forgot to update this slide. We're launching in February. We had to push it out a month. And so if you know of any women that are up and coming in their careers, driven, and want to have a lot of professional development, we pushed it out because we wanted to integrate AI into all of our sessions. These are specific to Arizona because we are meeting face to face. So this is a professional development program at inspiredleadher.com has all the information if you're interested in that or know somebody that would be a really good fit. And then lastly, we have this career coaching program. If you need more one-on-one kind of assistance, we have an online coaching program created by a couple career coaches, and it's called Pathways. And it will walk you through a whole bunch of modules, all the way from determining what kind of career you're looking for. Some of you, I know, have things have changed. You're not really sure where you want to target. This is a fantastic tool for you to use. All the way through salary negotiation, how to find a company that matches your values. And so that's at pathways.org. There is a fee to this one. This is the one of the programs we have that's separate from Career Connectors, but we support it. And I think it's around $39 a month, and you use it when you want, and then you close it down when you're done. So pathways.org if you're interested in that. All right. Thank you to our volunteers. We could not do this without you. Lexi is a career manager from ACU. Thank you, Lexi, for running the back end. Thank you, Wendy, for running our event today. And we have the Resume Writers and Coaching Association and a whole bunch of coaches that have been here as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do. We are a nonprofit, a 501c3. So if you are interested in giving back after you land your job, then we would so appreciate and have appreciated all of the donations that have come in. So take a look at that when you're ready. We would love to have your support. And thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. I am personally praying for everybody that's on the call to land into the career of your dreams. So as we move into the breakout sessions, this is a really cool part of the event where you can meet with our speakers, Justin and Jenny, and also you can meet with any of the career coaches that we have brought in. This is the place where there is no cost to do any of this. You meet with them, you talk to them, and they are volunteering their time to be here. And again, the experts, not, maybe Aunt Jane, who said she hired people for a while, wanted to give you resume advice from 15 years ago. No, we're talking about the experts in the room. Do not miss out on this. Do not miss out on this. And so stay. I'm glad you're still here. So what you're going to do is go ahead. So with the Zoom, what's going to happen is we're going to have breakout rooms. So if you all could look at the bottom of your screen, I don't know if they're up yet, or the icon is up yet. They'll be up in a minute, but there will be a breakout rooms icon. Oh, thanks, Wendy. And she just loaded it up. And so what you're going to do is click on breakout rooms, and you're going to scroll down and find the breakout room that you want to join. There should be a blue join button. Join that. Justin Jones will only be here until 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we have a half hour. If you have questions for Justin, please jump into his room first. And then you can go visit other rooms as you would like. But our speakers are going to be in there. And Wendy, if you want to go ahead and move to the next one, next slide, then you'll see a list of this resume or the speakers, the breakout room hosts that we have today. So Justin will be in there. Jenny, we have the resume writers. Each of them have a room. Kitty, she's great on LinkedIn. She is our expert LinkedIn coach. And then Sydney Patrick from Best Companies AZ is here. Now, if you have any problems on getting into your rooms, then Jenny, I am going to, do you see the rooms at the bottom of your screen? Okay, go ahead and join. Click the blue join. I want to make sure all of our speakers and coaches get in there. If you don't see that, she went.